The disciples asked Jesus, what will happen? What will be the sign of the end of the coming of the age? And when will this take place? That's the curious question. When? But the answer is always how. Even though much of Revelation is written in symbolic form, the Word of God was not given to be obscure. It was given to be understood by those taught by the Spirit. So his summary statement is these words can be trusted. You can stake your life on these words and God's plan. As he moves from this summary statement, notice his next move. His next move, as he ties a bow on it, is to convey urgency. He conveys urgency. Look at verse 7. And behold, I am coming soon. Again, there's that same word a second time. I'm coming soon. Blessed is the one who keeps the words of this prophecy of this book. Now, if you don't believe the words of the book, you're not going to try to keep the words of the book. I'm not going to be obedient to a message I don't trust, that I don't believe in. And so again, back to that question, what do you believe about the book of Revelation? What do you believe about the Word of God itself? Notice it says, behold. This is a demonstrative particle, meaning look with an exclamation point, right? It's emphatic, it's loud, it's boisterous, it's expressive, it's trying to get your attention. And then after it says look or behold, we see these words, I am coming soon. Friends, this is the theme of the entire book of Revelation. You're like, well, thanks for waiting 40 weeks to tell us that. Well, I had to get to it, right? I am coming soon. Now, many of us would say, well, is he really coming soon? I mean, Pastor, it's been 2,000 years. This is written in the first century. And how many hundreds of years have passed since this took place, since John authored these things? Can you really trust that he's coming soon? Isn't that just, we got to put this kind of millennial view or that kind of millennial view on this because, it doesn't feel like it's all that soon. Is that really a contradiction? Again, this word soon, it appears 4 times in this chapter alone. I would circle it and I would hone in on it. See, the definition of the word soon is, it's the Greek word tachi, and it's the word for quick, swift, or sudden. It's a word for quick, swift, or sudden. Remember how Jesus instructed his disciples in Matthew chapter 24. It says in verse 42, therefore stay awake, for you do not know on what day your Lord is coming. But know this, that if the master of the house had known in what part of the night the thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and would not have let his house be broken into. Therefore, you must also be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. Jesus said his return would be like a thief in the night. You won't know the hour, but you have to be ready. Notice the Word of God tells us it will be unmistakable, that every eye will put eyes on him, right? And in an instant, we will be changed. In a moment, in an instant, suddenly, swiftly, quickly, soon. Paul says it this way in 1 Thessalonians 5, 1-3. Now concerning the times and the seasons, brothers, you have no need to have anything written to you, for you yourselves are fully aware that the day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night. While people are saying there's peace and security, then sudden destruction will come upon them as labor pains come upon a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. Paul is addressing their question of time. When will this take place? Remember, the disciples asked Jesus that. What will happen? What will be the sign of the end of the coming of the age? And when will this take place? So that's the curious question. When? But the answer is always how. Jesus says no one knows. Not even the Son knows. Only the Father knows. That's because the Father would inspect the dwelling place that the Son would build upon the Father's home before he went and got his bride. If you just look at the covenant of what happens in in a marriage ceremony, the groom goes, and I've told you this many times, maybe your first time here, you haven't heard this before, or you haven't heard me say this, but the groom would go and enter into a covenant relationship with the bride. He would take the bride price. He would take the dowry and pay the father the price to be able to be in relationship with his daughter and take his daughter to be his wife. And so he would go to their home and he would go to them and he would pay this price to be in relationship to the bride. And then they would take a special cup that had been preserved just for this moment, the cup of the covenant. And that cup would be taken down and it would be poured with wine. And they would drink that cup together. And at the end of that special ceremony, they have entered into a covenant. He says to her, I am going away to prepare a place for you. And I will come back and receive you unto myself so that where I am, you may be also. For in my Father's house are many rooms. And then his task was to go and prepare a place for his bride. He would build a special wedding chamber, their part of the home, onto his Father's home. And don't you know he want to cut that short and quick because he's ready to be with his bride. He'd cut corners and his daddy would come in and inspect. Nope, not yet. Keep working, boy. Because this is your wife. You want this to be right. Trust me, son. Keep working, keep refining, keep getting it ready, keep preparing it. Not yet. And only when the father inspected it, and only when the father said, yep, you're ready, he would say, now go get your bride. Then he would gather the grooms, men, and they would go in procession, and they would blow horns, and they would do it at night, and they would have fun as they would do it, and they would wake people up because the groom was coming for his bride. Jesus says, not even the Son knows the hour. Why? Because the Father is allowing him to build a special place for the bride. So there's an urgency, though. I'm coming soon. I'm coming back to get my bride. I'm coming soon. Baby, wait on me. I'm coming because you be ready. And the bride, she was supposed to wear a veil. She was supposed to set herself apart so that when she went out and when she would go in, she had a veil. I'm spoken for. I'm in a covenant relationship. I have a groom. And that's how you and I are to live, set apart because we've been betrothed and the groom is coming for his bride. There's an urgency that goes along with this. While people are saying there's peace and security, then sudden destruction will come upon them as labor pains. Friends, Jesus will come suddenly and swiftly. He'll come quickly. Jesus will come soon. So this word soon expresses an urgency. Because of the urgency, we must be ready, vigilant, watching and waiting.